How's everybody doing today? This is King of the Hill Sports, and this is It's Draft Day Volume 2. In this video, I'll be talking about my ESPN Auction League Draft. In this series, I'd go over a number of different types of drafts, different leagues that I'm in. We already talked about in the first episode my Yahoo Keeper League. This time around, we are going to be going over my ESPN Auction League. In this league last year, I was actually undefeated up until the very last week of the season. I lost in the final week to ruin my undefeated run. I still had the first round bye, but then I lost my first playoff game to the same person who beat me in the final week of the regular season. Now, the funny story is I made one trade during the season last year. For the most part, the trade was Brian Robinson for Joe Mixon. I received Joe Mixon. Seemed like a great trade. I would say it actually helped my team. It wasn't really to the detriment of my team. But those two games that I lost at the end of the year were against the person who I made that trade with. Fantasy football, it's not about luck. It's not always about stats. It's mostly about stats. But 90% of it, it's emotion. It's emotion, brothers and sisters. I'm not really going to go pick by pick here. It's an auction league. There's no rounds. I'll go over my team and we will look at maybe some of the more interesting players that money was spent on, players that I missed out on, etc. So to start, just like with my Yahoo League, I end up with Lamar Jackson. Once again, I am a Ravens fan. Got the Tucker jersey on today. Got the purple on. I also got Derrick Henry this time around. The double running back sorry, Lamar's not a running back. But Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, I got all the Baltimore rushing touchdowns in my bag this year. Joe Mixon, not on the Bengals anymore, a lot more safe. I like Joe Mixon this year because look at that passing attack with CJ Stroud and this trio of wide receivers. I think that should open a lot of room for Joe Mixon to run and catch some short passes. I mean, who's really going to challenge Joe Mixon for number 2 in that backfield this year anyway? I think Joe Mixon has a clear path to be a low-end RB1, high-end RB2 this year. My targets, I wanted Bijan. I didn't want to pay more than $60. I wanted Jonathan Taylor. I didn't want to pay more than, honestly, $50. I think I went up to $55 and ended at $56. Two guys, I went $1 over the threshold I wanted to pay. Now the issue is if I wanted to bid again, I'd be bidding $2 more because I couldn't bid $61. I would have to bid $62. Who knows if they reply, I could drive up the price. Regardless, that's already more money than I'm willing to spend, and I don't want to risk spending more. Now going on to my wide receivers here. I actually didn't want Drake London, at all going into this draft. I think he's probably worth closer to $40 this year. I do like Drake London this year with Kirk Cousins. They have Darnell Mooney in Atlanta after Drake London. I mean, I'm sure Kyle Pitts will get more looks than he did last year. Bijan will probably get more looks. This Atlanta offense is going to look a lot better than it did last season. With Arthur Smith leaving, with Kirk Cousins coming in, it's only up from there. In my own personal opinion, I don't like Drake London as a wide receiver 1. In this case, he is my wide receiver 1 because I think he fell to me at the right price. And that's another thing about auction leagues. I saw Drake London for $30. I think he should be going for closer to $40. I got him for $31. That's good value. Then after that, I get Cooper Kupp for $25. People forget Cooper Kupp was injured a lot last year. He had some down games. Cooper Kupp also had 3 games where he had 25 plus points last year, I'm pretty sure. Cooper Kupp could end up being the wide receiver 1 in this offense. How much money did, let's say Puka Nacua went for 37, Cooper Kupp went for 25. I think in normal snake drafts, Puka's going way too high over Cooper Kupp. And I think in auction drafts, I mean, it's only a $12 difference. It's not terrible, but I still think Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp should be going for much closer to the same price. Stephon Diggs. I'm rolling with Diggs this year. $20. It's not a bad deal. It's my 3rd wide receiver. Again, I talked about this in the first video. I don't love Stephon Diggs as much as I have in the past. I don't hate Stephon Diggs. The one thing I'm curious about this year, though, with Stephon Diggs is Is December Diggs a real thing? Now he's playing in Buffalo. It's cold as hell in Buffalo. Now he's playing in Houston. He's down in Texas. If you notice, Stefon Diggs started the last 2 seasons extremely hot and fell off right around playoff time for fantasy. Come December, come November, Stefon Diggs falls off. Now, is it because of the extremely frigid temperatures in Buffalo? Can he continue to thrive through the end of the season playing in Texas now? Something to keep an eye on. This season is a good myth-busting opportunity for December Diggs. Diontae Johnson, another guy I like a lot this year. Talked about it a little bit in the last video. Year 2 Bryce Young, most rookie quarterbacks. I don't believe in the sophomore slump for rookie quarterbacks. I think most rookie quarterbacks take a step into year 2. I mean, if you look in the past, Lamar Jackson, year 2, MVP. Patrick Mahomes, year 2, MVP. Justin Herbert, I think Justin Herbert had a pretty good year too. I'm not going to stat check that right now, but top quarterbacks, this is like a make or break year for him. They brought in new head coach Dave Canales for a reason. He reformed Baker Mayfield last season. Let's see what he can do with Bryce Young and his new top target, Diontae Johnson. I expect him to try and feed Diontae and make Bryce Young look as good as possible, and in the process, making Diontae look good. Also to note, this is a 2 flex league, no tight end. Now, you could start a tight end in your flex position. As you can see, somebody here has David Njoku and Brock Bowers in 2 of his tight end spots. And again, this is something about auction leagues that you might want to look at, where if you spend $67 on Breece Hall, $60 on Justin Jefferson, and $56 on Jonathan Taylor, you aren't going to be able to afford anybody else for the rest of the draft, so good luck. Also on this guy's team, Dak Prescott for $2, everybody was very upset about. I don't know how they let Dak go for $2. I already had my quarterback. I would have bet him up. I didn't need a second quarterback. Now, my team's name is the Los Angeles Chargers. In the past, I have drafted Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams every year since we began this auction league. And this year, I still got Keenan Allen, and I still got Justin Herbert. Now, Keenan's not on the Chargers anymore. I got Joshua Palmer. This is also, in both of my leagues so far, I ended with Josh Palmer. Ladd McConkey's a rookie. He didn't get that much volume in college. I think Josh Palmer is going to be the clear-cut number 1 receiving option to start the season in the Justin Herbert offense. Now this team's going to run a lot. It's Baltimore Ravens 2.0. They got Harbaugh. They got the idiot offensive coordinator. They got J.K. Dobbins. They got Gus Edwards. Now the only difference is Justin Herbert can't run like Lamar can. So it's going to be very interesting what the quarterback situation looks like over there. Justin Herbert's still going to have to pass. Somebody's still going to have to catch the ball. They vacated so many targets from last season with Keenan Allen leaving, with Mike Williams leaving. Quentin Johnston might get a little bit of a look. I don't even know. I don't think Quentin Johnston even got drafted in this auction league for $1. And again, talking about vacated targets going into this season, I got Khalil Shakir. Josh Allen's going to pass. He had 15 rushing touchdowns. He's still going to pass the football to get them down the field. Who's he going to pass to? Diggs is gone. Gabe Davis is gone. There's 150 plus targets to go around. Khalil Shakir looked nice in spurts last year. Some of those spare 150 targets are going to go his way. Also, lest we forget, Tony Pollard for $8. I needed a backup running back. My running back situation in this league is a little bit of a mess because Derrick Henry and Joe Mixon have the same bye week. And my only 2 running backs on the bench are Tony Pollard and Ty Chandler. And I didn't want it to shake out that way, but I ran out of money. Now, their bye week is until week 14. That I'm happy about because I have plenty of time to try and find somebody besides Tony Pollard to fill in that week, or Aaron Jones might get hurt. Aaron Jones got hurt a lot last year. Ty Chandler could be great value down there. So here's how the team shook out. Let me know how you think I'm going to end the season. Who did I overpay on? Who should I have paid up on? Should I have bid up for Bijan this year? Do you think Bijan is overrated this year still, even though Arthur Smith is gone? Let me know in the comments below. This was episode 2 of It's Draft Day with King of the Hill Sports. On to next week, we're going to be taking a look at a Guillotine League. Now, if you don't know what a Guillotine League is, tune in to find out. Signing off.